Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 9 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 9 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability. The lessons we're going to cover today are probability of independent and dependent events. The lessons permutations, counting principles, permutation and combination notations. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Let's just start with the lesson that is probability of independent and dependent events. You roll a six-sided die two times. What is the probability of prime and prime? Like the first time when you roll, the prime number it is, and when you roll for the second time, that is also the prime number. So you have three prime numbers on the dice. They are 1, 3, and 5. So the probability of prime number first time is 3 by 6. And second time it is also 3 by 6 because whenever you're working on the dice, the events on the dice are always the independent events. So both the events are independent. So for the first time it is prime and it is 3 by 6, and for the second time it is also 3 by 6. So the probability is 3 by 6 times 3 by 6, that is 9 over 36, and you can simplify the answer. So let's just start with the test questions. You pick a card at random. Without putting the first card back, you put a second card. Without putting the first card back, you put a second card at random. What is the probability of green and the probability of purple? So for the first time, when you are going to pick the green card, you have three cards, right? You pick one card that is green out of three. You didn't put the card back. Now you have two cards. The probability of purple is 1 out of 2 because this time you have two cards left. Basically, that is the dependent events. They are the dependent events. So the probability of green and the probability of purple is 1 by 3 times 1 by 2. That is 1 by 6. The correct option is 1 by 6. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next example. You spin the spinner twice. What is the probability of brown and brown? So for the spinners, events are always independent events, right? So the probability of brown for the first time is 2 out of 4, and the probability of brown for the second time is also 2 out of 4, right? So the probability of brown and brown is 2 by 4 times 2 by 4, that is 4 by 16. 1 over 4, you have to write the answer in the percentage form, so you need to multiply it by the 100. So that is 25%. So basically, when you are working on the spinner and dice, all the events are independent. So this is also the independent event. You need to calculate the probability. First time when you have the brown, you have 2 because 2 portions out of 4 are brown. For the second time again, they are 2 out of 4. So you have to multiply the both the probabilities, that is 4 over 16. You have to multiply it by the 100 because you need to write down the answer in percentage form. So that is 25%. So the correct option is 25%. You pick a card random, put it back, and then pick another card at the random. What is the probability of prime numbers? So 2, 3, and 4. Two numbers are prime, 2 and 3 are prime. So the probability of prime is 2 by 3. For the second time, because you put the card back, so you have the same probability, that is 2 by 3. So you need to calculate the probability of prime and prime. So 2 by 3 times 2 by 3, that is 4 over 9. So the correct option is option number. That is 4 over 9. Option number 1 is the correct option. You pick a marble at random. Without putting the first marble back, you pick a second marble at random. What is the probability of yellow and yellow? So for the first time when you are going to pick the yellow marble, you have 2 out of 5. You didn't put the marble back. Now you have 1 yellow marble and 1, 2, 3, 4. So the probability of yellow and yellow is 2 by 5 times 1 by 4. That is 2 over 20. You can write the answer in simplified form, so that is 1 over 10. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 1 over 10. So the correct option is 1 by 10. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is permutations. Let's just start with the lesson. A grocery store wants to place a row of candy at the checkout counter. If the cashier has one box each of four different types of candies, how many different orders can the box of candy be arranged? So you have four box of candies, so you can place them in 4 factorial. So 4 factorial equals factorial means you have to do 4 times, 3 times, 2 times 1. So that is 24 factorial. The correct option is 24. Let's just start with the test questions. A grocery store wants to place a row of candy at the checkout counter. If the cashier has one box each of four different types of candy, in how many different orders can boxes of candy be arranged? So that is 4 factorial. The correct option is 24. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Let's just start with the test questions. Marlon is raising chickens in a backyard coop. If he is expecting 5 new chicks to hatch, in how many different orders can they hatch from their eggs? 5 new chicks to hatch, so you can arrange them in 5 factorial. So 5 factorial means you have to multiply all the numbers between 5 and 1. So you have to do 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24 and 24 times 5 is 120. So let's just move on to next one. Emily gets to tie dye a shirt At summer camp, she wants to use white, green, purple, and yellow dye on her shirt. In how many different orders can she apply the different colors? So, one, two, three, four. You have total four colors. So they can be arranged in 4 factorial. That is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 24. Option number 2 is the correct option. Maria is arranging cheese in a row on a cheese board. The cheeses she has are Roquefort, Colby, and Minster. In how many different orders can Maria arrange them? So you have three options that can be arranged in 3 factorial. So 3 factorial equals, that is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. Zachary is getting a pinata for his birthday party. The 5 children at the party are going to take turns trying to break it open. If each child gets one turn, in how many different orders could the children take turns? So you have to 5 different, you can evaluate in 5 factorial different orders. So the correct option is, that is 120. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. That is counting principle. Kirk is filling up a pencil case before school. There are six pencils and pens and three pencils to choose from. How many different ways can Kirk fill the pencil case with one of each item? So, which is the correct option? That is 6 times 3. The correct option is 18. Let's just start with the test questions. Basically, the counting principle says, sorry, that you can multiply the number of choices to find an total number of possibilities. So you have to multiply the number of choices because you have to because you have to find the total choices, total possibilities. Kirk is filling up a pencil case. There are six pens and three pencils to choose from. How many different ways can Kirk fill the pencil case with one of each item? So you have to multiply the choices to calculate the possibilities. 6 times 3 makes 18. You have 6 choices for pen and 3 choices for pencils. You need to calculate the total possibilities. So you have to do 6 times 3. That is 18. Option number 1 is the correct option. Kenji is making an ice cream sandwich. There are two types of sandwich cookies and three types of ice cream to choose from. How many different ice cream sandwiches can Kenji make using exactly one of each item? The correct option is 2 times 3, that is 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Angie is buying a new set of DJ equipment. Angie can afford one mixer and one turntable and is trying to decide among three different mixers and five different turntables. How many different sets of DJ equipment can Angie buy? The correct option is 3 times 5. So the total possibilities are there are 15 different set DJ equipment that NG can buy. Anna is making a quilt for a friend's new baby. She knows how to sew two quilt patterns and can choose from two color schemes. How many different quilts is it possible for Hannah to sew? Two times two, the correct option is four. So she can sew the quilts in four different ways. Option number one is the correct option. Deidra is ordering a salad for lunch. There are 10 lettuce mixes to choose from and 2 meats to add. How many different salads can Deidra order? That is 2 times 10. That is 2 times 10. The correct option is 20. Option number 1 is the correct option. Irene is building a first aid kit. There are two kinds of bandages and 9 disinfectants to choose from. How many different first aid kits can Irene make using exactly one of each item? The correct option is 9 times 2, that is 18. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Permutation and combination notation. 6C, do you have to evaluate the combinations? So how do we evaluate the combinations? Here is the formula to evaluate, that is NCR, n factorial divided by r factorial n factorial divided by r factorial n minus r factorial. So that is n is 6, r is 2, 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial and 6 minus 2 factorial. So that is 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial and 4 factorial. So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 3 is 15. Let's just start with the test questions. Five P2, you have to evaluate the permutations. So the formula to evaluate the permutations is NP2, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial, NPR, sorry. So that is 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 2 factorial. That is 5 times 4 times 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial. 3 factorial and 3 factorial cancel out, so 5 times 4 is 12. That is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. Evaluate 7C2. That is n factorial divided by r factorial n minus r factorial. 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial, 7 minus 2 factorial. So that is 7 times 6 times 5 factorial divided by 2 and 5 factorial. So 5 factorial cancel out. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. So 7 times 3 is 21. The correct option is 21. Option number 1 is the correct option. Three P2. So you have to evaluate NPR, that is n factorial and n minus r factorial, and factorial is 3 factorial. 3 minus 2 is 1 factorial, so 3 times 2 is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. Four P3. That is 24. Option number 2 is the correct option. Six C2, which is the correct option. That is 16. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 9 math. The chapter we were working on is probability. The lessons we have covered today are probability of independent events, permutations, counting principle, permutations and combination notation. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions you can please ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session.